Hello beautiful people, how are you? So I just did a quick muscle test about what flower essence I should do, and the one that showed up is called Red Helmet Orchid. Now I always have a bit of a joke about this because one of my little stories is when one of my boys was little, he was having a red hot tantrum. And so I grabbed my other son and I brought him into the clinic and I said, Jim, jump up on the table and I'll get you to surrogate for Jobber for a minute. So he hopped up on the table and I'm doing some tweaking and like this was a full-on tantrum. It was a full-on tantrum. And anyway, so he was sort of like very adamant, very, very, very strongly adamant that he was not going to be doing what I was asking him to do. Anyway, so Red Helmet Orchid showed up and I said to my son, I said, well, this is for being rebellious, hot-headed, selfish. So that's the negatives of it, and the positives of it are male bonding, sensitivity, respect and consideration. So anyway, but the rebellious hot-headedness and selfishness. So Blaze, of course, started laughing. I started laughing with him. Oh, that's him to a T, ha, ha, ha. And then in come my other son, and he knocked his way through the door and he said, what are you doing to my brain? Anyway, it's all a bit of fun. So because there's so much fire energy on the planet at the moment, fire energy is for when people are finding that true part of their ego, their self-worth, their self-esteem, that part of their soul, that part that's going, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap, what the hell are we doing here on the planet, and why am I a part of this, and why the hell am I agreeing to it, and what is going on? And I'm going to start, putting my best foot forward and standing up for myself and my loved ones. So there's a lot of fire energy on the planet. And so I just muscle tested up, but Red Helmet showed up. I thought, I could see that that's, going on the planet. And I was listening to Laurie Ladd yesterday, and she was saying that because this is a mass awakening, which we're all aware of, and even people, once again, this isn't about which choice you're making. It doesn't matter which choice you're making. Whatever choice you're making is the right choice for you in that moment. Maybe you simply feel like you have no other option. Maybe you don't have the personality like I do to go, well, blow it, I'm not doing that. I am simply not doing that. The more they tell me I have to do something, the more I stand up and I go, I don't think so. You're not allowed to tell me what I can do with my body. You're not allowed to do that. I'm a free human being. I am a free woman on the planet. I have sovereignty. I have my rights. I am a human being born with rights. There's a whole bunch of that. And and a lot of people are not being listened to by their governments, and we certainly are not being listened to here in Australia. So that's the energy that I'm going to do this little balance for. So Red Helmet energy. So because there's nothing wrong with that sort of fire. And I think, if we're going to get through this, if we're not going to be part of a world that we really don't want to be part of, I'm sure you can all see where this is going. I'm sure you can imagine what has happened in the last 22 months and then just multiply it and multiply it and multiply it and multiply it. That is the plan. That's the plan. It's always been the plan. So if you haven't checked things out at this stage, there is other underlying world politics behind all of this. If you haven't found that yet, that's okay. If you haven't, I've even been listening to some of our old politicians here in Australia from like 10, 20 years ago when they were speaking out and saying, this is the plan for Australia, what's going on, and no one was listening to them. And there are not only politicians, but there's lots of people who have come forward and said, I've been screaming this at the top of my lungs for 10, 20, 30 years. Why is no one listening? And, people don't listen until it affects them. And of course, now it's starting to affect people in many ways. So that's when it starts getting interesting, at what point people will stand up and go, not sure this is working. Not sure I'm going to get a third. Not sure I'm going to get a fourth. That's, of course in the last few days here in Australia it's gone from the booster at 6 to 5 and now to 4. And I've been saying to everyone, we're going to be like Israel. What do you think's going on? Have a look at the numbers in Israel and Iceland and Gibraltar and Malta and the place in Ireland that has its absolute highest rate of the has the highest rate of the moronic version. So there is that. Anyway, but that's not real. That what really wasn't my intention. My intention is more about the fire on the belly. We're not going to get to this next evolution of humans unless this quantum conscious change that's going on the planet. It's going to happen because people are waking up, and once people are awake, they can't not be awake. That's just the way it is. You know, it doesn't matter how much we wish for that blue pill again. It's not going to happen. So we're going to do it on rebelliousness and hot-headedness, and we're going to start shimmying this energy. Okay, part 2.